born in 72. I was raised from 70, you know.
Yeah, from the
from the
70s
70s to 80s.
Wow. So you grew up in East New York, Brooklyn in the 70s and 80s?
Yep.
Could you tell me?
And 90s. I stayed there to the 90s.
Okay, so tell me the evolution from the 70s to the 90s in East New York, Brooklyn.
I mean, from the 70s, kind of tough because I was very young.
Yeah, you were a baby.
But I do remember, some stuff. But I definitely could tell you about the 80s, man. I mean, coming up in the 80s, it was all burnt houses everywhere. It was crazy walking the streets. Back in the days, there was drugs everywhere. And every corner you turned, there was people selling drugs. It was crazy, man. It was a lot of crimes, and I remember all this because I seen all of that.
But give me an example of some crimes you've witnessed.
No, listen. Aside from me being a victim.
Okay, give me one where you were a victim.
Aside from me being a victim, being robbed. I was a little bit older, but I got robbed when I was younger. Obviously, when you grew up in East New York and you walk around the neighborhood, you're always gonna run into groups who's out there committing robberies, and unfortunately, I got robbed a couple of times. Unfortunately for the robbers, I had nothing for them to take from me. So, I grew up poor, man. So when they picked me as a target, they wasn't getting nothing. But, you always had like a little chain, something like this, a little ring, unfortunately, I didn't have I didn't have like name brand sneakers, jeans.
So attempted robbery.
Attempted robbery. Yeah. What you got? I'm like, I got nothing. So
what about?
But I did witness a lot of robberies.
What about acts of violence? Shootings, stabbings.
I seen shootings. I seen stabbings. Listen. When I was younger, right now, by the I don't know if you're familiar with the mall back there, right on
Gateway Mall.
On Gateway Mall.
Yeah, I know.
Prior to Gateway Mall, that was all a dump, all right? And when I was younger, me and my friends used to ride bikes, and we used to go to the back. We always used to love going back there and riding bikes, because it was like, in the back there was it's like a dump place, and it had a lot of up hills and stuff like that. So we like riding bikes there. I used to walk, I used to see dead bodies. You literally riding a bike, you see dead bodies. But, you're raised in Brooklyn, you've seen these type of things, and it's like you're not at first when you first see it, you're shocked. But then after when you're seeing it so often, you're like, wow, people getting beat up, when I get into crazy detail, but you see a lot of messed up stuff back in the days, and I saw a lot of dead bodies back then. And I remember riding a bike, seeing a dead body, going back, getting my friends like, yo, come see, and we go right back.
That's a scene out of a movie, bro. Boys in the Hood.
It's crazy that that I see these things on the movies, and I actually went through stuff like that. People don't really understand what I seen, what I went through. I should be a person that should be mentally ill right now from all the stuff that I witnessed and that I actually experienced in life.